Good morning, y'all. This is Chef Megan with the Edible Schoolyard New Orleans, and we are going to make something that you are going to love. We are going to make personal pizzas. Now, I just shared a recipe on technique, on kneading technique, and in that video we made pizza dough. So go over, watch that one, and make your pizza dough so that we can get started on this recipe. Now that you're back, in addition to our pizza dough, we're also going to need a little bit of mozzarella cheese. I'm going to use whole peeled tomatoes because a chef friend of mine gave me a tip on pizza sauce and it's really good. But if you just have regular pizza sauce, that is great too. And then the toppings I'm going to put on are a little bit of red onion and a little bit of arugula. I know all the middle schoolers out there are rolling their eyes at me, but you can put pepperoni, green peppers, onions, sausage, anything you want on your pizza. This is a personal pizza, so you get to make it however you want it. And then I have some red pepper flakes for a little spice, some oregano, and then salt and pepper that we will add at the end. So the first thing that we are going to need to do is roll out our dough. So I'm going to take a sheet tray and I'm going to add a little bit of oil onto it and just use my hands so that our pizza dough won't stick. Now I'm going to put that aside. And then with this dough, I'm just going to make one pizza right now, so I really don't need that much dough. And you can use a roller for this, or like I said in another video, any round object like a bottle, or I used a bubble wand before. But I am just going to use my hands for this and just form it into a pizza shape. So this is fun for kids for sure. The more you can touch the dough, the better, but also using a rolling pin can be fun and good practice also. So however you want to do it. We want to get it as thin as possible, but that's not always easy. And also if you like thick crust, that's fine. Nothing wrong with that. So that came together real fast. You can also play with it a little more if you want to practice your pizza throwing skills. Hopefully you're better than me. That can become a little crazy, so that is your decision. But I'm happy with this. It's pretty thin. I like my pizzas really thin. So I'm going to take this and put it on my prepared pan. Okay, so while I was putting my pizza on my pan, I also preheated my oven and I cranked it up pretty much as high as it'll go. I put my oven at 450. We want our oven really hot for this, and our pizza will cook pretty fast because of that too. So first thing we need to do is grate our cheese. So if you are an older kid, maybe third, fourth grader older, you can use this box grater. Never use this tiny little side because all your cheese is just going to get stuck there and you're going to spend an hour trying to clean it out. So you can use the small one, the small holes, or the big one. I prefer using the large one. And so even though this looks safe, it's not a knife, you can really cut your fingers on a grater if you are not paying attention. So make sure that you are watching what you are doing, that you always have plenty of food in your hand. Once it starts to get really tiny, we're just going to eat that last little piece because it's not worth the risk of scraping the skin off your knuckles. So I'm getting close here. So I just have these kind of scraps left, so I'm just going to put those aside, and I have enough cheese for my pizza. I probably have more than enough, so you might have noticed that was a very small chunk of cheese. You always need less than you think you're going to need because when you grate it, it gets kind of bigger. It has more volume. So I have my cheese ready here. And now we are going to work on a skill that you may not think of as a cooking skill, but is actually really useful, and a lot of middle schoolers, I've noticed, don't know how to do it yet. And so we are going to open our can with a can opener. So you want to put the sharp edge in the lip of the can, and then you're going to Squeeze it together until you hear that little pop, and it is cutting into our can. You have to keep squeezing with the hand that you don't write with, probably, so your left hand for me. And then we're gonna twist this around. Don't hold on to the can, just hold on to the can opener. Twist around, and your can should move and come all the way around. And now we do not want to stick our hands in there. You can use a knife or just whatever you have handy and pull this up. And so now you have your can open. So here is that chef tip I was telling you about for pizza sauce. So we're taking our whole peeled tomatoes. We're going to put them in a pretty big bowl. And then we're just going to add a pretty big pinch, probably a tablespoon even, of salt, of kosher salt. A little more for good measure. And this is where it gets fun. Make sure your hands are clean as always. We are just going to squish. Keep your kids' hands in the bowl. They start squishing up out here, you're going to have tomato all over yourself. Just like that. Maybe make sure everyone has an apron on. And you are trying to get this squeezed enough that you don't have any big pieces of tomato. So it's okay if you have something like that, but you don't want anything much bigger than that. So I'm going to let you work on that. I'm going to work on mine. All right, y'all. So this is how our sauce looks. Now, when you're making your pizza, you can use a spoon to get kind of the smoother parts, or you can get the more chunky parts, depending on what you like. So I'm gonna go wash my hands, and then we can get started making our pizzas. All right, y'all, so this is where we get to have some fun, because this is your pizza, no one else is gonna eat it, so make it how you like it. So we have our dough, and then what comes first on our pizza? It's gonna be our sauce. So I like my sauce kind of chunky, so I'm gonna use the chunkier parts of this sauce that we just made. And remember, if you have pizza sauce or tomato sauce on hand, you can use that instead. You just won't get to get your hands all dirty like we did. And put it as close to the edge as you like it. All right, next, you're gonna take your cheese. And again, it's yours, so you can make it however you like. Put a lot of cheese, a little cheese, however. And then your toppings. Again, this can be whatever you want. And you could get creative. If I had some chicken or broccoli, I might add that. You could add, like I said, pepperoni, sausage, hamburger meat, shrimp, any vegetables you like, whatever you want. If you're one of those crazy people who likes pineapple, go ahead and put it on there. All right, so I'm putting red onions on mine. Just thinly sliced red onions. You can make designs, go crazy. And then I said I had arugula. I'm actually gonna put that on after the pizza is cooked. And then now I'm just gonna add a little pinch of salt, a little pinch of pepper, a little bit of oregano, which is one of those traditional Italian spices. Smell it and see if it reminds you of your favorite pizza. You can put a little bit on the crust too if you want. And I'm gonna add a little bit of red pepper flakes. A little bit of this goes a long way, but I know a lot of us love spice, so we're just gonna sprinkle a tiny bit. Another option would also be if you're making your sauce, you can add your spices to your sauce as well. But this is what my pizza looks like. I'm gonna put it in that hot oven. Like I said, it's preheated to 450 degrees, and it's probably gonna take anywhere from 8 to 12 minutes. All right, y'all, so that pizza was in the oven for about 10 minutes. It has a nice brown crust. The cheese is all melted. I'm gonna add my arugula on top. Any herbs would be really good if you had any fresh herbs to add, spinach, anything like that. You can eat yours like this if you want. I'm gonna cut out a little piece before I try it. Now I have a baby piece of pizza. Let's give it a try. Be careful, mine is still really hot. But that was super easy. It didn't take very long. And now I have my own pizza that I can make, that I made exactly how I wanted it. I hope you guys can do this. Have a good time. Miss you. See you soon. Bye.